This is Saturday Morning Mysteries.
And we're your hosts, Alexis and Grace.
Hello, good morning, and welcome back to another episode of Saturday Morning Mysteries, where we're your hosts. I'm Grace.
And I'm Alexis.
And we're back for our eighth, which is usually our final episode of an arc, but not today, my friends.
No.
We are extending our Magic School Bus arc, as we've explained in the last two episodes, for 2 more episodes. Yay, we love this show. It's very fun. Also, it will lead us right up to our holiday arc, which we're starting a week early because we love the Halloween October arc so much. And Halloween starts at the end of September anyways. Like, you might as well.
Exactly. Basically.
We're recording
last week
this.
of September is Halloween. Pre-Halloween.
Dude, we're recording this in the start of August, and Michael's already has Halloween stuff up. So.
Yeah. Excellent.
Don't
so
shoot the
it's only fair. Those, what do you call them? The Spirit Halloweens. They're starting to take over those old abandoned box stores in a neighborhood near you. They're popping up even now, I guarantee you, as we record this episode. So
exactly.
And you know what? It is kind of crazy now that you mention it, that we are basically gearing up for Halloween now as we record this, even though it's only August, because it's helpful, at least for me, selfishly, because I'm usually super late to the game and thinking of a Halloween costume. And so now you just saying that is making me realize, like, oh shit, you know what? Let me start thinking of my costume now. Or will it be the skin tight reptile suit that you brought up last week that I said would be my costume?
You know what? Time will tell.
Time will tell. It depends on what the Spirit Halloween down the street for me has in stock when they open up in a couple of days. So I guess we'll have to see.
Truly,
so, as of our recording.
Exactly. Yes. So that's the situation, and that's why today is not our last Magic School Bus episode of this arc.
Correct.
But it is Alexis' second to last, so I'll just let you take it away. I'm very curious, because you said during your last episode 2 weeks ago that there was more geology maybe going on. So I'm very curious. We learned about erosion and landslides with you last time. So I don't know what you're going to teach me about today.
We're going to learn more about the Earth, basically, more about the world around us. That's science, after all. What is science but geology presented in different lenses? It's a lot more than that, for real.
It's a lot more than that. We've learned nothing clearly on the show, if that's our answer.
Miss Frizzle and PBS are not proud. They're looking like, good Lord, this is what we got out of this? Yeah, right now. So not only is this week/today's episode connected to last week's in the sense that we've got some more geology going on, but it is also connected in the sense that we have yet another kind of like dual course or hybrid course lesson coming from the Frizz to her 4th graders at Walkerville Elementary. Okay. So at the core of the lesson plan, per usual, is science, of course. That she is a science teacher. It's what she does. But the bonus course that we get to join in on today, I guess a couple weeks ago, we did history, the history of Walkerville in particular. Today, we are going to do a combo of science, hard sciences, and social sciences. AKA
this is our
civics,
lane.
Political science. Exactly.
Okay.
It's like this episode was made for us, Grace, in so many ways. From different angles. Like, there's a way you could watch it and be like, oh, this is Grace's episode. This shaped Grace as an adult. And then there's a way you could look at it to be like, oh, this also shaped Alexis as an adult. For like kind of the different perspectives we're going to see. But it all comes together in a beautiful debate organized by the Frizz between some students at Walkerville Elementary, and the subject of the debate, whether a shopping mall should be built on some wetlands in the town.
Oh, shit.
Or if they should just, if the mall should just be built somewhere else. So it's not an issue of like, should the mall be built or not? It's just, should the mall be built on the wetlands? A very prescient question of the 90s.
Okay, I mean, straight up. I was like, this is aging the show for sure.
Yes. And I guess I should say this is from season 4, episode 5 of the Magic School Bus. And the episode is called Gets Swamped. Yes, from good old 1997, when the mall was all-powerful, almighty, but getting closer to that edge of decline and to that edge of fading out of existence and relevance, but we're not quite there yet. So today we're going to remember the days when the mall was the center of our community, the backbone of an economy, if you will, in a local town.
Hell yeah. Okay.
So the frizz, like I said, she's got the science of it with the wetlands, which we'll get to in a second. Mm-hmm. But the social science, the civics of it all is that there is going to be a debate. Okay. But like I said, I told you the actual subject. But who's the audience in the forum of this debate, if you will? It is none other than the Walkerville Town Council.
Wait, I was so sarcastically about to be like, what, the city council is going to listen to these fourth graders?
The city council is going to listen to these fourth graders debate whether a mall should be built on wetlands in the town or elsewhere.
Hey, they're part of the population that's going to either go to that mall or not.
They are. They're part of the core demographic. I mean, they can't make the purchases, but they're definitely the ones that are going to drag their parents there to buy a bunch of stuff. So here's the thing, though. The Walkerville Town Council, they're not just going to listen to these kids make these arguments and debate this subject. They're actually going to base their decision on the matter based on which child wins this debate on this issue. So the town who is in attendance at this public hearing that we will see in a moment, which is a crowded, packed, full room,
ready to
the town will not only make their decision and inform their opinions based on what these children argue, but the council as well will vote based on who won the debate.
You know, there's already civics questions and issues happening here.
So many. Remember, these kids can't even vote.
Yeah.
But I think,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, powerful stuff.
Powerful.
I'm
very
also very
inspiring.
Interested to see who's arguing on which side. Is it randomly assigned by the frizz? You know, because that's sometimes what you have to do in school is you have to argue this side even if you disagree with it.
Exactly.
I'm interested to see.
We'll get there.
Saying what?
All those rules and stipulations will be laid out momentarily. Okay. Very short pin here.
I'm thrilled.
So, yes, like I said, this is an actual meeting of the town council where this debate will happen. And it's not just some round table discussion or a listening session with council members. Again, where no official actions will be taken by the council. Session. This is a literal voting session, a full out public hearing and committee meeting or council committee meeting where they plan to deliberate and make a vote to then put into law whatever these kids are debating in front of them.
Great. Millions and millions of dollars are on the line.
Of investment, environmental protection matters, obviously, to be questioned here, economic development, all of this, rests on the shoulders of some fourth graders. So, which two lucky fourth graders, you may ask, or which two lucky students get to argue for and against this development?
Yes.
Well, on the one hand, we have Carlos representing Miss Frizzle's class. And on the other hand, we have a guest star who we have seen before and loathe to see again.
This bitch.
This
is back.
Much to the chagrin and surprise of every student in the City Hall building right now, all of Miss Frizzle's class, wondering who it will be who goes up against Carlos in this debate.
Wait, she's representing big business?
Hold on, maybe. We'll see.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it is, Janet Pearlstein, Arnold's cousin, who is representing some other class who is participating in this debate. We only see her. We don't see the rest of her class because, again, her class and her teacher hate her and don't care when she leaves and doesn't show up to class. No. So, among these two debaters, you and I are obviously making it clear, and I think the rest of the audience could agree that there is a clear personality that is more likely to shine better with the audience and to win them over here when it's between Carlos and Janet. One of them is more likable and, friendly, charismatic than the other. Not to say Janet's not charismatic, but it's in the bad way, the way that you hate. Whereas Carlos is funny. He's chill. You feel like you can sit back and have a juice box with him, on the weekends.
A little Capri Sun with them. We'll send
right. So either way, though, even though Carlos is obviously the biased option going into this one, at least for me and probably for you and all of the audience, I said, I think it's safe to say that either way, whoever wins this debate, this town is cooked. Okay, this is how you're making your major political and economic decisions for real.
Is that in the law? Did a fourth grader write the law that only fourth graders can decide the law?
Yeah. Right. That fourth graders who cannot even vote are the ones who get to decide. And like, I'm not saying they do this with every issue. It's clearly like some debate contest that's going on. But like the fact that the winner of the debate wins this, like you're having a debate contest among elementary students in your town.
Yeah.
You're debating the fate of like hundreds of millions of dollars of construction and economic investment and environmental protection. How about the winner gets to debate like whether you should have a national puppies day or something like that in your town, or like a national ice cream day in your town where you celebrate the history of ice cream. Or why must it be something of this like,
or like have this important debate and then the winner just gets a tour of like town hall.
Exactly.
That's it.
That's
where it ends.
You can have this debate, but like we're not making our decision based on it. You just get like a pizza party afterwards.
Nothing gets enacted or codified based on any fourth grade debate that's ever been.
No.
Ever.
Well, in Walkerville, maybe it is though.
So how did that come about? And we said it doesn't happen often. We don't know that.
Yeah, magic. That's how it came about.
Yeah. She's like pulling the wool over their eyes, making these children look like adults in the debate.
Yes. Yeah. So the level of cooked that this town is in is further confirmed when we learn, Grace, as you were wondering who gets to debate which side.
Oh, no.
We learn that the debaters are also uninformed of which side they are debating because their side will be assigned based on a coin flip that starts the beginning of this public hearing of this official town council in this official town council meeting in the town of Walkerville.
Can I also point out of like,
yes,
making informed arguments and being an informed voter is very important, and yet they're letting these children go in completely
blind.
Granted, like how like competitive debate does work is sometimes
you don't know.
You have to be prepared for either side, and you do a lot of preparation. But I got the sense that they did not give the children time to prepare either side's argument. You know, that they were just like, here's the topic today, kids.
Exactly. Go ahead and form your judgments on it, and then you'll find out if that's the side you get to argue later. Like,
you have 3 minutes.
And you have 3 minutes, yes. Okay. So Carlos, who happens to see himself at least as a lucky son of a so-and-so, he's like, I'm not worried at all about this debate or the fate of the coin flip because he apparently has never lost a coin flip in his life. Which would be impressive if he wasn't in the fourth grade. Like, buddy, you're like 10 years old. So, okay, cool.
How many coin flips
probably done 10 coin flips in your life. But also, I mean, I guess still impressive. So as a preteen boy and along with the rest of his classmates as little preteen girls and boys and little students, fourth graders, they're all very excited to see that a new mall may be opening up in their town. And they're like a little familiar with the wetlands, and like all that they know about it is that it's a smelly glob of mud. It's ugly. It's this worthless plot of land that just needs to be beautified. And, you know, it could generate some tax revenue for this town that's clearly looking to diversify its economic portfolio. But those are Carlos's words, not mine.
So they know about that, not the value of wetland? Interesting. Interesting. It looks like I know who, is a big investor in Walkerville, perhaps. I see
Carlos's parents.
Who's gotten to the kids first. Yes, perhaps big business here.
Exactly. So, being the lucky kid that he believes he is, and claiming, like I said, to have never lost a coin flip in his life, he's pretty much certain that he's going to be assigned to argue in favor of building the mall on the wetlands.
Carlos.
And he and his classmates are certain that they have an easy assignment and an easy argument in front of them to make in terms of paving over this gross swamp that nobody really wants around anyways.
I'm disappointed.
Yeah. I am too. I know. I was like, I would think Carlos would know better, but oh well. And all the students are pretty much in agreement here. Like, yeah, dude, we want them all. Like, obviously, when again, the option isn't whether there's a mall or not. It's whether the mall is on these wetlands or somewhere else.
And they're like, we don't really care. We just want them all.
Well, no, which is what I thought at first, but then I was like, well, why are they so adamant in their argument then? But no, it's because they actually really don't like the wetlands too. Like, because they know the mall's happening either way. Their thing is like, no, this is ugly. We need to get rid of it and beautify it. These kids, don't worry, they're going to learn today.
Yeah, Miss Frizzle's like,
today.
Perfect.
She's like, oh, do you think that? Interesting. What a great opportunity for character development.
Kids, could you pose that statement as a question such as who would even care about the wetlands? Oh, perfect. You asked it in question form. Let's go.
Let's go find out.
Yeah, that's actually the only requirement for your field trip is a kid asks a question.
What if, or
even a rhetorical question.
How could we? Exactly. Yeah, right. But, Grace, there is indeed a first time for everything, whether Carlos knows it or not. And when the council members start the coin flip, actually, I think Miss Frizzle does the coin flip, but she announces it in front of the whole council and everything and all the whole public body that's there viewing. Carlos, he loses the coin flip. He loses it. He calls heads and Miss Frizzle says, Miss Frizzle says whoever gets heads. If it flips heads, then I forget, but whatever. Basically, he calls heads and he shouldn't have. It hits tails, yeah. So I'm trying to remember. She says whoever gets tails, I guess, wins and gets to choose whichever side they want.
Yeah.
And he picked heads. It flips tails, which I almost wanted to pause it and look like, did it really flip tails?
Yeah, she's lying.
Did Miss Frizzle lying about this?
Definitely used magic to character development.
I guarantee you she did. Yes. So it flips tails. Go ahead.
This is definitely so irrelevant, but
probably
man, if I was
not in this show.
Adult in that audience, whichever council member I disagree with the most, I'm like, this is what I'm running against, is that this is how decisions were made. My platform will be no more fourth graders making town altering decisions. I'm running for city council now, and I actually want to govern. I don't want to make children do it.
Right.
That's my
I'm not trying to make my job a school project.
Yeah. Right. All the city councilor seats up for grabs at this point, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Every last one of you. Get ready. Get ready. So Carlos, he panics, seeing that he has now lost this coin flip. And he tells the council that he's nowhere near ready to make any argument in favor of moving the mall somewhere else or building it on some other plot of land. And thank goodness the council, they have it in their hearts. And I also think that they're kind of realizing how ridiculous this all is. And they're like, let's actually recess until 1 p.m. so that you guys both have time to get your arguments together. That's literally 2 hours, as we learned. I think, it's 11 right now or something, or 10 a.m. But he's like, and then this way, both parties, Janet, you can go and craft your argument and get all evidence you need. And then Carlos, Miss Frizzle, you and your students, whatever, you guys go do what you got to do. But 1 p.m. sharp, we're coming back and this debate will resume.
Also, get the evidence you need. Read this EPA, environmental assessment real quick.
Right. Call the EPA in, have them do their environmental impact assessment, have them draft the report, read through it, have it peer reviewed. Exactly. Make sure you do a public request for proposals for surveyors to come out and actually look at the land and scale everything.
Give the company a chance to respond.
Test, all of that. Exactly. Give them a chance to respond and to bid or to change their bid. You have until 1 p.m.
1 p.m.
Are we good? Parties? We're good?
Okay.
Boom, adjourned. Yes. Let's go.
Perfect for a 10th grader or a 10-year-old.
Yes. A 10. Yeah. I was like, even a 10th grader couldn't.
That's a lot. Anyone.
Miss Frizzle now, being the herald of intellectual curiosity and of civic justice and environmental protection that she is very eager and happy for Carlos to be assigned this position. She pretends to be shocked, of course, when the coin flip happens. But as you and I both obviously agree now, she clearly made it land on tails because she was like, there's no way I'm going to make my students argue in favor of covering these wetlands. Carlos, you will change your mind by the end of the day, I assure you. So she sees that this also gives her class the opportunity to not only represent what is right and like what should be happening actually in the world, but it's also the opportunity to take a field trip to collect data and evidence right from the source.
Nice.
So the students, they load up into the Magic School Bus and they embark on their field trip to the Walkerville wetlands. And when they arrive, they are instantly disgusted by the combination of the rain, the mud, the smell, the mosquitoes and bugs all flying around them. And furthermore, poor Carlos, he's just devastated that he not only lost a coin flip, but that he lost to Janet, of all people.
That does hit a lot harder.
That is what,
he's not wrong.
Like adding insult to injury for real here.
The ego's taking a hit.
Yeah. So he's pretty bummed. He's pretty sad, just like sitting in a corner by himself or, kind of sitting under a tree by himself. And he basically admits to the Frizz and to the whole class that he's cooked. There's no way. And he actually says cooked, by the way. So proving that this term's been around for a minute.
Yeah, damn.
Zoomers always want to judge us like millennials saying like, you stole that word from us. No. This episode's from like 1996, 1997. And Carlos, a fourth grader, is saying cooked. So he must have heard it from his parents who were saying it in like the 70s too.
Exactly.
So just gonna say.
Just saying.
Anyways, and I also kind of did like the Leo DiCaprio, like, oh, he just said the word. He said cooked. That's awesome.
He said the thing.
I heard it. Yeah. So, yes, he acknowledges that he's cooked. His debate, he's going to lose. There's no way he can beat Janet in this because this stinky, smelly swamp, like who in their right mind would want to save this? And what good is it anyway? It's not helping anything or helping anyone as he currently believes. And he low-key just like disassociates for a bit. Like he just like sits under this tree, like hands,
what am I gonna do?
Head in hands, just staring out kind of into the distance while his classmates and like the Frizz are rushing around the swamp trying to get like any evidence.
They're like actually trying to do the work still. They're like, we were assigned an assignment. We still got to do it.
But if there's anything I've learned from being an attorney, not one who does courtroom stuff and like debates and litigates and stuff, but every attorney on a litigation team kind of has a role. And sometimes you just have your dude or your woman, whoever, who just gets up there and performs,
they're the face.
Like
that's
not
obviously
to say,
Carlos. He's a performer.
Not to say they're not helping with the research and like doing some of the legwork and the hard work, but sometimes doing
research
a team
back
effort.
There for 'em.
Sometimes there's that person that's just more charismatic and that knows how to like speak to the court
or
the audience a little better. Exactly. And in this case, it's Carlos. He can't do the research. He's just a funny guy who knows how to talk and like crack jokes and like win you over with his style. Yeah, exactly.
Got that charisma,
So he just lets his classmates start their research and start gathering some evidence. And hilariously, like Tim, again, our like scribe / artist is the one with the video camera, just like following everyone around, like recording everything that he sees. Exactly. Because they've got to have video evidence for their case,
Excellent.
So I know that we've done previous episodes where we've talked about like different swamps around the world and America even, and different rivers. And we've talked about all sorts of like different bodies of water and everything. But like I said, I am on some like ecological kick this month with the Magic School Bus. So today we're going to talk a bit more about wetlands as a broader topic. And again, I feel like a student teaching the professor here because I know without a doubt that Grace knows a lot more about wetlands than I do.
You know what?
Turns out that her and Justin only talk about rocks and water, basically. And here I am trying to teach you all and her about rocks and water. So
here's the thing. I probably know about the creatures and like the overall broader impacts of wetlands, but like the nitty gritty of a wetland itself, I don't know like the geology of a wetland. Okay. I don't know. Well, what's it doing there? Tell me.
How'd it get there? What happened? Well, I won't go that in depth, but I'll just say the fun facts that Wikipedia and the United States Geological Service yet again provided.
Was this
I think it was the Geological Service. Probably. One of them. I always try to do like Wikipedia and some like government or something website or whatever to the extent that they're updated, which they're not usually. But anyways, So, yes, what is a wetland? It's a broad term, but it refers to a distinct semi-aquatic ecosystem whose ground covers are flooded or saturated in water, either permanently for years or decades at a time, or even only seasonally, or really just like any amount of time. I'm not sure what the cutoff is, but if something has water covering it for like a month or two, I'm pretty sure science will classify it as a wetland. And if it's like naturally recurring that happens, not obviously man-made water put in there.
Yeah.
So they are considered among the most biologically diverse of all ecosystems, serving as habitats to a wide range, like Grace mentioned, of aquatic and semi-aquatic plants and animals, with often improved water quality in the wetlands due to plant removal of excess nutrients like nitrates and phosphorus and other pollutants that the plant life in the wetland cleans out of the water, which we will talk about later.
Cool.
Interestingly, wetlands are on every single continent except for Antarctica, which I guess it never really occurred to me. But I mean, basically any place that has like a river and like a landmass next to it could have a wetland. Yeah. Or not even a river, any body of water.
That's interesting. I feel like I also always I interchangeably use sometimes swamp and wetlands. And I'm thinking of when I think of Europe, I'm like, oh, there's like a bog.
Exactly, or a marsh or something.
Yeah, or a marsh, but not a wetland. But there is.
Yeah, but it's the broad term, and a swamp. Yes. All swamps are wetlands, but not all wetlands are swamps, which, yes, we'll get to that. That's like two lines down in here. Yes.
Okay.
Right? So, again, we're 32 years old. We know what wetlands are.
The classifications.
Exactly. All these things, because I always think of bogs like separate, too, or like mangroves and all this stuff.
Yeah.
We'll get to it.
Okay. I'm excited.
The largest wetlands in the world include the Amazon River Basin, which I feel like makes sense, the West Siberian Plain, the Pantanal in South America, and the Sundarbans in the Ganges Delta. Okay. There's another word in there that I'm just not going to try to pronounce. The Ganges is in India.
Yeah, India.
Ganges, I think. Yeah. So anyways, wetlands, like I said before, they form a transitional zone between bodies of water and dry land. And the different types of wetlands are usually defined based on what that water body next to it is. So like what the source of water in the wetland is. Okay. So marshes, like you mentioned, we think, marsh, Europe, not a swamp in Europe, but a marsh. Yeah. Well, marshes are everywhere too, because they're wetlands dominated by vegetation like reeds and cattails. Okay. And so I think that means that they probably have like more fresh water coming into them. Okay. Swamps are dominated by woody vegetation like trees and shrubs. Okay. So thicker, not just reeds and cattails, but full on trees, bushes that you got to push through. And mangrove forests are also wetlands with, of course, mangrove trees growing all through them. And interestingly, in this episode of the Magic School Bus, it seems like you said, they use wetlands and swamps interchangeably, the term. And what they have in this town doesn't seem like a swamp as much as it's like a bog or an estuary or just like a floodplain. Like it's just an area where excess water kind of fills up and then slowly dies back down and then fills back up when it rains or when the nearby river overflows. Okay. So couple more fun wetland notes here is that they do contribute many ecosystem services that greatly benefit people. So they're not only great for the animals living inside them, but for us humans as well. And this includes water purification, stabilization of shorelines, storm protection, and flood control. Like I said before, excess water can just flow into floodplains or into estuaries instead of overflowing a river. But instead of us in the town, put a pin in that too for later.
No, I don't want to.
No, take the pin out. Take the pin out.
No. Your last episode, they caused a landslide. There's
a lot of flooding content in my last two episodes. Let's just put it that way. But of course, humans are going to human like we always human, and we are disturbing and damaging wetlands in many ways, including oil and gas extraction, building infrastructure, overgrazing of livestock, overfishing, alteration of wetlands, including dredging and draining, and of course, pollution. And on Wikipedia, they had a site to this assessment, the Millennium Ecosystem Assessment from 2005 stated that wetlands are more threatened by environmental degradation than any other ecosystem on Earth.
That makes sense.
It does. And yeah, that study was done 20 years ago, so I can't say exactly what the ranking is now here in 2025, but wetlands have throughout history, at least modern history, been subjected to large draining efforts for development of real estate and agriculture. And they are also intentionally or like over intentionally flooded to create recreational lakes or generate hydropower. So, as per usual, it'll be super fun to see the Frizz and all of these fourth graders just being humans, stomping on into this wetland, creating havoc and chaos and blocking sources of water like they did in my episode a couple weeks ago, possibly just fucking shit up. So,
ruining the side of a mountain. Who's to say what's going to happen here?
Who's to say? So, yes, the kids, they're... Thank you. So they arrive at the Walkerville wetlands, similarly to all that I just described above. And I guess just another kind of like side note that is just funny for us, basically, and us alone, Grace, is that, you know, the kids wear a different outfit based on every like climate or ecosystem they find themselves in. In this case, they're all wearing like these long raincoats or like trench coats, and they have these elongated bucket hats on because of like the rain and the swamp and everything. And they've got, you know, big boots on, like hunter boots and shit. Dorothy Ann's hat has like holes for her pigtail coming out of it. And Ralphie still has on his baseball cap. He doesn't have on a bucket.
He said, "I'll get wet." I will say,
I don't mind a little water.
In the rainforest episode, her fedora also had that. But I should have. She carries scissors to cut the holes.
Yeah, just like. Oh man. And now that I go back and think about it, I feel like it's been like that in every episode where she's put on like a scuba suit or something. Her pigtails are still coming out of the helmet. And it made me so sad that it took me this long to realize it, but just funny things. It's incredible. Just a funny note, because it's like imagine also too, my first thought was, what is her hair gonna look like when she gets out of that? It's like the two pigtails are so just like frizzy and wet. Yeah.
Well, and there's a hole. It's still getting into her scalp then. She might as well not wear a hat. That's what I'm thinking. Just take your hat off.
Just take the whole thing off.
Also, it's funny the animators to be like, how will they know it's Dorothy Ann if not for the pigtails? In every episode.
Exactly.
How will they know?
And same for Ralphie. I was like, I guess that's the way. And I actually put that note in here. I guess so the audience can easily tell who is who. But it's so funny because it's like the kids all look different. Yeah, like you can tell they don't take the same face and then just like change the hair and the outfits. Like the kids all have bodies are different features. Yeah. Which makes me think of another note that I forgot to mention earlier. And you and I have talked about this offline, but we didn't talk about it after your first episode, is that like the animation of Janet, Arnold's cousin, he literally, because you mentioned like she looks just like Arnold. So the animators had to put a J on her shirt so that you can tell from a quick glance who is who, because otherwise they're 100% identical.
They even have the same striped shirt, like.
Exactly. And,
and
like later, Janet goes on part of the field trip with them. We'll get to it. And so she has on a trench coat, and her trench coat has a J on it. Yeah.
It's like their glasses are different and there's a J, and beyond that, the exact same person.
That's it. Maybe Janet has a skirt on instead of pants. I forget. But like you usually just see like waist up anyways. Like they're wearing the same shirt and everything. Yellow and white striped like rugby shirt, but hers has a J on it. J. So funny. Anyways, so they're in this wetland now. And like I said, the students, besides Carlos, are running around trying to find whatever evidence they can to support their argument to protect the wetland, making the case that it's actually important and needs to stay intact. And Phoebe, she pretty quickly notices that there are some like very pretty plants growing near them, kind of in the shrubs and in the grass nearby. kind of like right on the edge of the grass and the water, I should say. And Miss Frizzle IDs them as marshmallow plants, which do exist. I did look up.
They do.
I'll get to those in just a second, very briefly. Yes. The roots of which, according to Miss Frizzle, can produce a sugar that is used in marshmallows and in some of the kids' favorite treats, even.
What?
But this is interesting to me because if these are actual marshmallow plants, and if they are like indigenous to this wetland, not ones that people just randomly came in and planted there, then Walkerville has to be one of the most biologically diverse communities in the world, because these plants are typically native to Western Asia, North Africa, and in some cases, Europe.
We don't know where Walkerville is.
I mean, it's in the United States, but
we don't know where Walkerville is. There's like a really small town in Texas that like still speaks like a really old version of German because it was founded by Germans a long time ago. So I'm just saying there could be,
maybe they
what's his face Walker,
the marshmallow plants
could have founded an English speaking town.
Krasniqi one of those Walker, places. True. You know, it's possible. Listen, I'm not putting it against the town. I'm just saying we've discovered something fascinating. If this is true, which it is.
Call more scientists in here.
Yeah, exactly. Get your freaking federal grant money. Get it now, girl. Like
up in here.
Yeah, because y'all got something crazy going on here.
That alone will protect this area.
Yeah, right. If nothing else, like Carlos, there's your debate. There's your argument right there.
It's a scientific phenomenon.
And it is something that he puts a note of that down. Like, okay, cool, pretty flowers. Like, I guess that'll win over the female council members, I guess. Ooh, pretty flowers.
Ooh, wow. The new kid liked them. Great.
Yes. But right when they discover this, they hear the clock tower on the town council building begin to chime, signaling that it is now noon and they only have an hour left to collect evidence. Yeah, right? That flew by. Yeah. So last hour to collect your evidence and shape your entire argument for this debate that is going to bring hundreds of millions of dollars and several thousands maybe of jobs into this town. No big deal. And possibly also create a lot of problems for the water distribution system in the town. But whatever, it's cool. We're good. Carlos, you got this, buddy. One more hour left to decide. So Carlos says that they're going to need more evidence. The flowers, like I said, good start, not enough. And from where he's standing, Carlos says he can't see one good reason not to put them all in place of this disgusting swamp that they're in.
Okay.
So Miss Frizzle says, well, maybe if you stood over there.
Uh-oh. Okay.
You'd have a different perspective.
Yeah, if you ever say another thing for the list, if you ever say anything about I can't see why. Yeah,
exactly.
Your perspective or not understanding someone else's. Another trigger for a field trip for Frizzle. Really, you just have to be silent in her class.
Just don't say anything. Yeah, don't answer any questions. Just let everyone else do that shit. Yeah, don't help. It's already chaotic enough. So yes, she says, stand over there and maybe you'll get a different perspective. And so Carlos, he walks over there and says, here, Mrs. Frizzle? And she says, a little more over, just a little bit. And he steps over a little bit more and ends up standing closer to a group of the rest of the students, excluding Arnold and Phoebe, who are standing over on the other side of this swamp. And it's at this exact moment that I screamed at my TV, no, Carlos, don't go over there.
No!
Also, stop, it's a trap.
You also say all of this stuff as if we didn't dream of going on these field trips.
I know, exactly.
I'm like, where do you want me?
As a kid.
Here?
Yeah, now we have the privilege of hindsight and realizing how horrible this all is. But no, who am I kidding? I would love to still go on these field trips today.
Yeah, Carlos, no!
But it's just funny, now that we're this far in, we're 8 episodes in, and we're clearly... We understand Miss Frizzle. As soon as she said a little bit more, I was like, oh God, she's about to shoot you with something. She is lining you up in her target range.
Exactly. You needed all of you to be within range. You were too out of it. And I can't sneak and attack you. It's not sneak attack. My shrinking ray
can only work once per minute. So I would rather get all of you in at once so I don't have to
you can't run.
stagger it.
If you see it happening and run, I can't get you.
Run. Yeah.
If you're all together, though, easy.
It's a lot easier. But before my warning could make it to Carlos through the screen,
in time.
Miss Frizz, indeed, yep, she whips out a shrinking ray. Mm-hmm. She points it at those students. Again, everyone but Arnold and Phoebe. Mm-hmm. Much to Arnold's like excitement. He's like, oh, thank God I actually didn't get shrunk. That's great. But yeah, she shrinks all the other students down to, I'd say, like the size of like a baby bird, maybe. Like, okay. You know, this big. They're little. Mm-hmm. So the shrunken group, like I said, Carlos, Dorothy Ann, Tim, Keisha, Wanda, and Ralphie, they are panicking when in like the snap of a finger, they realize that they are at the bottom of grass looking up at these massive stalks of grass and that they're almost face to face with this massive muskrat that is just like peeking at them through the grass and like nibbling on grass and branches, just getting itself like a little snack. And so they see these things, which I don't know if y'all listening or Grace, if you have seen a muskrat in person, even as a regular human size, and like you and I are both like pretty big for women, like tall, like height wise at least, even as my like 5'9" self, I am terrified of muskrats. Those things are scary look. It's like if a raccoon, a raccoon, a beaver, and like a massive rat all like did the thing and had a baby.
Yep. Abomination.
And it's gross. It's an abomination. It's an adorable abomination because it is still a creature that is an animal that deserves to be respected. Protected, but good Lord, keep them away. Stay in the water, please.
But also, I won't destroy your home. Sorry. I'm out. I'll leave your home.
And like the way that they can move through water. So there's this, when I was living in Maryland, there's this lake that I would go walking around all the time. And they had muskrats and beavers there. And I once saw one cross the path in front of me to like inch its way into the water. And it was like carrying a big log and it scared the crap out of me because I think that was like the first time I'd ever seen one up close. And I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a little bear at first, Grace. And then I saw its tail and I was like, oh my God, it's a rat. But it's the biggest rat I've ever seen.
It's a giant rat. Yeah.
But then it got in the water and was swimming, and I was like, "Oh, it's a muskrat!" But it was carrying like a log,
snake-like when they
got
swim,
like a
right?
rat snake tail, and they can kind of like move around. They've got web feet, kind of, So it's almost like it's like really, if anything, it's like a beaver and a rat more than like a raccoon too. But I guess just kind of like their like scraggliness makes them kind of get like raccoony vibes. But it's mostly a beaver and a rat combined, and. Boy, oh boy, so they come face to face with one of these things. Exactly. You're so cute over there in the middle of that lake. I
won't build them all here. Don't worry. Bye.
Don't you worry. You can keep your home. But yes, this muskrat here, while it is very scary to the kids at first, once they run away from it and kind of get closer to where Mrs. Frizzle and the other two students are standing, Phoebe, again, our animal expert, she looks down at her miniature classmates and says, don't worry, the muskrat's just doing its thing. He's not chasing you. Aww. And they turn around and see, the muskrat's just nibbling on its branches and swimming out back to its dam and placing it in its pile of other wood. Yes, very adorable. Adorably ugly. But the gang now realizes that they have been, quote unquote, frizzled. AKA, Miss Frizzle's at it again. She shrunk us, and now we're at the bottom of the floor of this wetland trying to figure out the beauty of it all. So they next come across, this is very safe, but they next come across a massive snapping turtle who snaps at them, which can hurt a regular-sized human very badly, let alone a miniature human. Yeah. And then they see some frogs, some mosquitoes, and some frogs eating those mosquitoes. They see some fish, some ducks, and the ducks are like eating mosquito larvae at the bottom of the wetland floor. And then they see a bunch of other birds, like a swamp hawk or something that they call it. I don't know if that exists, but a hawk, and also a red-winged blackbird, to be exact, which was exciting. And we have a lot of those around here, and I know they have them in Cincinnati too. I've seen them there. But they then begin to realize, as these kids are seeing all of the animal life and all the biodiversity in this area, they realize that the swamp, gross and stinky as it may be, is actually a thriving habitat for many innocent and adorable creatures and for several types of plants and insect life. At this point, though, the rain starts to pick up, starts to get a little heavier, and the water levels in the swamp or in the marsh, whatever, begin to rise a bit. And the students notice that this water is pushing in oil from the nearby river into the wetlands. It's like flowing in naturally. Well, as natural as oil should be flowing through any fresh water. So Miss Frizzle, she decides to take a closer look at this herself, too, and shrinks down her, Arnold, Phoebe, and the magic school bus entirely.
Like, God damn it.
Fuck, I thought I made it out of here, man. So close. But yes, they join the rest of the kids on the swamp floor so they can investigate how this oil is spreading in the water, too.
Yeah.
Carlos, though, he's pretty tired of all this rain, and he's grossed out by the oil and, like, the globs of oil, like, going by them in the bus. So he's just like, can we leave now? I think I've got enough evidence. Like, we've got a habitat here. What more do they need to hear? We've got flowers, we got plants. If any one of them we've got a flower, we've got insects, etc. If any one of them is ripped out of here, then the whole ecosystem comes crashing down. What more do we need to, that's our case. We're good. But Keisha, our hardened, seasoned prosecutor, she knows how to try a case. And she knows, no, we need a lot more evidence than this, not just to win over the council, but because we have to make Janet look horrible, okay? We have to beat her into the ground.
We have to win the council, so convince the council, win the hearts and minds of the people, destroy Janet.
Destroy Janet. We need to ruin Janet's future career before it even starts, okay?
Stop her in her tracks.
So the students in the Frizz, they hop back onto the bus, which at this point, I think what does she turn it into? It's like, it's just like a little riverboat.
Oh, okay.
What really stuck out to me is that she named the boat the SS Mega Magnifier. Oh, because I guess that the boat can just continuously shrink into a microscopic magnifying, thing, whatever.
Okay.
And they make their way in that boat towards one of these globs of oil that's moving through the swamp. So as they make their way through the water, they begin to notice that the swamp is kind of like cleaning the dirty water as it flows through, because the swamp plants, as I mentioned before, are actually filtering some of the gunk and some of that oil out. Like it's like adhering to the plants in the swamp instead of moving through the swamp. Okay. So the plants are kind of like collecting all this dirt and debris for the swamp.
They're holding
the marsh,
the line.
Whatever. Hold that line, the thin plant line, the thin swamp plant line.
Perfect.
So the students quickly realize that the swamp is, in effect, helping to clean the water. Again, as gross looking and like smelling as the swamp may seem. So they're kind of like clocking more benefits that the wetland is providing, even though they're still like, ugh.
Ooh, we don't want to touch it.
I guess that's cool, though. Ugh. So they take another closer look at the water as they see it kind of like filtering out the gross stuff. And they notice that some of the water is actually bubbling, much to their surprise and curiosity. And someone makes the horrible mistake of asking, what is causing those bubbles?
Well, we're about to dive in and find out.
Exactly. And Miss Frizzle's like, hold my beer, or like, say less. Boom. Liz, hit the button.
Yep.
And so they shrink again. And they go mega magnifier mode, as the Frizz calls it. And they do get a look at what's going on under the surface of the water, what is causing these bubbles. And they immediately see some old friends of theirs, which, again, just a callback and making this I had to do this episode for many reasons, because Keisha IDs some of these old friends as members of the Microbe Gang.
Microbe Gang! I was going some amoebas in there. Okay.
Exactly. Some bacteria. Gang. Yes. And Keisha, she gets like a little thought bubble, and it actually shows a clip from that episode that I did about microbes. I think it was my second episode, maybe. And she fondly remembers the microbe gang as the guys who turned her cucumber into a pickle a little while back. So I was like, well, I just have to do this episode.
I know,
of course I'm doing this one. It's perfect. Yes. The Frizz, she's like, you're right, Keisha. That's
Keisha's
exactly
like, I lost that debate. I'm not going to lose this one.
I will never lose another one in my life. These guys will help us. So yes, the Frizz, she describes them as bacteria in their own cafeteria. And on the menu today is rotting plants, fertilizer, and even globs of oil. Yeah. So basically what she's saying is that there is bacteria naturally occurring around these underwater plants and in this swamp that eats away at, like I said before, the nitrates, the phosphorus. There's a whole lot of other chemicals and pollutants that swamp water eats away at, or the bacteria in swamp water eats away at. That then helps clean it out or purify the water a bit. Not enough to drink, but still it gives it kind of like a head start.
Yeah.
So gas then comes out of the bacteria once it finishes eating away at the pollutants in the swamp water, thus cleaning the water, like I said, before it makes its way back into the river that is near the swamp. And get this, we soon learn that the town's waterworks are also along that very river. And thus the students kind of theorize that helps, that the swamp is then helping kind of pre-clean the water before it goes through the official city treatment facility.
Yes.
So it's kind of doing the city an extra little favor to have
probably saving some taxpayer dollars, getting a little cleaner.
Yeah, you might have to spend more money on those waterworks if this wetland wasn't here. Because yes, the waterworks are going to clean it more than a wetland alone could, and they're going to clean it whether the wetland's there or not. But hey, it's saving some money and probably some maintenance time for the waterworks. So again, they're clocking valid evidence in their favor. So they put all of this together and they realize that it is also almost 1 p.m. And Carlos is like, Miss Frizzle, I'm ready. Let's fucking go. Let's go. And Miss Frizzle nods. Keisha nods as well. Like, you are ready.
Keisha's approval. Yeah.
Like, you're ready, Carlos.
Okay.
And so they pack it up and they head back to the town hall to go beat Janet's butt into the dirt with their argument. And yes, the clock strikes 1 and the debate resumes back in the heart of Walkerville. Carlos, he makes his statement to the council first, of course, in support of building the mall anywhere else but on the wetlands. And just to paraphrase what he says here, it's a great statement. He's put it together. Like we said, Carlos is charismatic. He knows how to woo a crowd. But he basically just says, like, the high notes are like, protect the animals, protect the plants, protect the insects that the animals eat, help clean the water for the water treatment facility, but also think about it. At the end of winter, when all of the birds, they stop chirping, the frogs, they stop ribbiting, the ducks, they stop swimming around and paddling in the pond. It will be a sad, cold spring when we don't have that ribbiting duck, that beautiful bird chirping from its nest in the morning, waking us up and serenading us. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but this is basically what he's saying.
Tim wrote this part for sure for him. This is your closing argument.
Right. Tim's just back there saying, like,
this.
Tim is like mouthing it as Carlos is saying it, like
in the audience. The quacking ducks. Yes.
Yes. Got it. He just gives Carlos looks at him when he finishes, and Tim's like,
wipes a tear with a thumbs up.
You got it, buddy. Yeah. So it's nice. And it touches the heartstrings of the council members. They're nodding along. And he gets a pretty good amount of audience applause after he, finishes up his statement. He seems to be feeling himself. Miss Frizzle's class, they're feeling pretty good.
Okay.
Then Janet, she makes her statement. And like I said, Janet, she is also charismatic, just a different kind of charismatic, but she will get your attention, mostly because she's so loud and annoying that you can't look away.
Yes, you can't ignore her.
So she basically is just like, it's a mall. Duh. Obviously, we want them all. We're kids.
You're
going to
getting
have
it either
ice
way.
Skating rinks. Yeah. Well, again, it's about how much the swamp sucks too, though. So she's like, we're going to get ice skating rinks, an amusement park, movie theaters, shopping, restaurants. What more could you want?
Capitalism.
It stinks. It's gross. Yeah, capitalism. Build on the swamp. Don't drain the swamp. Build on the swamp, okay? Reinforce the swamp. No.
Yeah, erase the swamp.
Yeah, she's like, the swamp stinks. It's gross. If you're so worried about the ecosystem, then move the animals somewhere else. And you said it yourself. The water treatment facility is already cleaning the water, whether the wetland is there or not. So who cares if we build a mall there? And so look, well, Carlos, he's got images of adorable animals, cute baby birds. And, Tim took the video of like the ducks swimming in the water and the pretty flowers and everything and all the beautiful landscape and all that. It pulls at the heartstrings. But Janet, she's just got like a mall sizzle reel that shows like the arcade, the movie theater, all this fun stuff. And like I said, she's just louder. So ultimately, she gets as much applause, if not more, than Carlos does. And it really is starting to look like she actually might win this debate. And this
is way too real.
It really is. The loudest voice, unfortunately, wins most of the time. So, yeah. The council members at this point, they adjourn the debate. They tell the students and the audience that they're going to take another recess, but only for 5 minutes this time so that they can discuss who won and make a final decision on the matter. And the Frizz and her students, like I said, they're starting to think that Janet actually might win this one.
Oh.
But just when the council members exit the chambers and, go to their little private meeting to deliberate, the rain that has been carrying on throughout basically this entire day, it actually starts to get a lot harder and ultimately turns into a larger storm that moves through the city, like thunder, lightning. It's pouring out there.
Okay.
And we then cut to the swamp area, particularly like the point where it meets the river going by it, which is also kind of like right where the water treatment facility is.
Okay.
And there's a little dam there to kind of like regulate the water as it moves past the water treatment facility. Well, we see lightning strike a tree right at that little like confluence or that like intersection, falls down, blocks off the entryway into the wetland, and then leads to like the dam being totally just overrun and covered with water.
Flooded.
Yeah, again, right by this water treatment facility, but also
proving
not too far
really
from town.
Quick, that Briz is, as we said, is she a Mother Nature witch? Because she was like, I think we're losing. Let me prove my point. Little sprinkle of lightning.
She's like, let me just run to the restroom real quick. You like cut to the restroom. She's like doing this madness crazy.
Her like fingers are sparking.
Yeah.
Oh, I had to powder my nose. Sorry, everyone.
Excuse me.
I'm back.
Did I miss anything? Oh, whoa, it's really coming down out there.
Flooding? Someone should go
That's
check.
Scary. Kids, get away from the window, except get close enough to look out the window at what's coming our way.
Exactly out that window, though, where you can see the water treatment plant.
Right there. Exactly. Because once they look out the window, little to the left, little more, right there. Good. Look right. She's like holding their head, like, look right here.
Look.
And yes, they look out there and they see something horrifying coming their way. A massive flood, because that river, just like my episode a couple weeks ago, has been totally overrun with water.
Damn.
The not having the swamp area available for all that excess rainwater to drain into has caused the main river in town to overflow. Like I said, it took over the dam. It just is pushing right over top of the dam.
Yikes.
And literally water is rushing down the city streets. Right towards the town council building.
So fucking scary.
That would be terrifying.
I'm so scared of floods.
Really think, like we've had some really bad flooding on the streets here in DC over the past couple of weeks, and it's like terrifying to think of. Like if you're in your car, like I guess like get out of your car because like you're gonna like you can only drive so much through water, but also make sure you can swim, but also like, and I'm not a safety expert, so don't take anything that I'm saying seriously. If you're caught in this situation, please look up what to do, because this stuff's happening more and more often in places where it really shouldn't be happening. But honestly, I wish more people would have watched this episode of Magic School Bus, because it literally explains why these things are happening.
Yeah, dude, straight up. Interesting.
As I live in this overly developed community that probably shouldn't have more than like 50,000 people living in it, and it has like 800,000 people living in it. So, yay, here we are. Anyways, so the river is now, or the town is now flooded from the river. Great. And back at the town council building, like I said, the students in the frizz are looking out the window, watching these waters rushing towards them. And the council members, they like cut their meeting short and they start immediately you see them literally filling sandbags, Grace, and like just stacking up sandbags in front of the building, panicking, like, I can't believe this is happening. What's happening? Oh my God, this is crazy. What do we do? What do we do? Like clearly not able to like take any leadership role at all. Just
me
panicking.
As the future city council person is filming this, like
this. Mm-hmm.
This is for my
This is what your council members did when our city was in a point of crisis.
It's like
they just
playing
asked
in
questions.
freezes.
They offered no solutions.
That's why
like black
I'm
and white.
running.
That scary foreboding music in the background. It shows
freeze frames. You come on the screen.
Random like Getty licensed or AP licensed, not even locally sourced, like helicopters evacuating people from other disasters, but just to, gotta build up.
We could have been
tension.
Prepared, and yet we weren't.
You weren't. Where were your council members when the town of Walkerville flooded? They were busy filling sandbags for their own building. They couldn't even think to prepare. They couldn't even think to help the old grandmothers in the town fill the sandbags for their house. We need new leadership in Walkerville. That's why I, Valerie Frizzle, am running for mayor.
Mayor, not even city council. Straight to the top.
Exactly. Take the shit over. So yeah, the frizz does ultimately save the day here though, so it's funny, but it's true.
It's still filming. Tim's got that camera.
Tim, I was gonna say Tim is her press person, man.
Yeah, creative director here.
Because while these council members are filling sandbags and panicking, the frizz, Liz, her students, and Janet, because she's like, no, you cannot return to the wetlands and like lie about any evidence that you collect there. I need to see it too, so that it's like a fair debate, which like, okay, kind of fair, but God, she's so annoying. Yep. Just watch Tim's video, Janet, when we get back. Damn it, Janet.
Damn it, Janet.
But they all get back into the magic school bus and they go back to the wetlands because they have a feeling that something happened there other than the heavy rain to have caused this. They're like, no, something's not right. Like this has never happened before. It's got to be related to the wetlands because. So they get there and they do though. They immediately find the fallen tree and see that it's blocking off water from moving into the wetlands from the river and that it is what's causing the river to overrun and to flood the town. So the frizz, she turns the magic school bus into a bulldozer and moves the tree out of the way, immediately allowing all of that flood water to drain into the swamp and immediately lowering the level of the river. But I would like to say the bulldozer took a little while for her to pull out or to turn the magic school bus into. At first, the students all just run out of the bus and like jump in the water of this rushing river and try to push the tree out of the way.
She's like, they survived worse. This isn't rapids. There's no boulders.
She's like, they're fine. There's no boulders coming after them. They're fine. I'll use my magic to save them. They're never really in danger, but it's also just very concerning because she's just there watching as they're like struggling to push. Like,
it's for the film. The city council not only listens to fourth graders to make their uninformed decisions, but look, cut to the screen. They also are using
Dorothy Ann like crying as she's trying to this massive tree from these rushing waters. It's like the weight of the tree is
your children into dangerous situations. Think of the children. These council
members don't care about your children. As a parent, could you see yourself vote? Not even could you. You have to like shame the person watching. As a parent, how could you ever vote for such a candidate? If you love your kids, you'll never vote for these candidates ever again.
If you love your kids, you'll vote for me, Valerie Frizzle. For mayor.
The person who put them in this dangerous position in the first place. Politics 101, baby.
She's killing it.
Politics 101, show me the lie. So, Yes, after saving the day, moving this tree out of the path of the swamp and allowing the river to overflow where it normally should be overflowing, the crew returns to the town council building and they explained everything that happened to the council and like all of the science behind it, because these guys are clearly not smart enough to like understand anything.
Clearly.
So they're telling them like, well, yes, a tree fell and it blocked off the water from getting into the wetlands and then it overflowed everything and then blah, 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 all of this. And they're like, oh my gosh, you guys were right. Wow. Thank you so much. And it's like pretty obvious at this point that they are now going to vote in favor of the Frizz, of Carlos and his argument and of the rest of the Frizz's class. And when they all return to the town inside of the building now, and like they get the session start back up and everything, the public hearing gets back up again, they explain, or they tell everybody what their vote is. Obviously that they are going to vote in favor of putting the mall somewhere else because of this whole debacle that happens. But interestingly, as they're talking it through, Janet even is like, yeah, we gotta, I rescind my argument, basically. Like, I saw it with my own eyes, as much as I hate to admit it, like, we can't do this. So it's basically like case dismissed at this point. Everyone agrees. And really, I guess like the conclusion of this is that this decision, this gives a massive political win to these kids, these fourth graders at Walkerville High. Likely, in my opinion, fueling not only their lobbying skills, but their argument and like debating and rhetorical skills.
Yes.
And all feeding into the Frizz's scheme to furthermore turn these students into some global criminal masterminds, because if they can sway politicians as fourth graders, imagine what they can do when they actually like pick up a law book or something, or like pick up a like political science book or like a theory book or something.
Money behind them.
I know. Exactly.
Unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
She's training a small army.
She really is.
We're learning lots of
politics and government.
Politics and government. So I need to run the world.
Biology. You know, like there's an episode where they learn about sickness and stuff, and like so they learn about microbes and bacteria, but also like germs and stuff, so they know how to like heal and like how to prevent sickness. Extremely well traveled. They've probably picked up at least 10 languages along the way.
Per student, at least.
They know like Urdu like fluently.
They speak like multiple languages of India when they went to the Ganges to look at the wetlands there.
Yeah. Portuguese, they've been down to the rainforest many times. Spanish, I'm sure too. Just everything. French, because why not? Because like, duh.
International language, law language.
They've got it all. They can sculpt, as we learned, so they can forge art. I mean, these kids are going to be hard to stop. Yeah. So that's the end of like the main episode.
Wow.
And then
so fun.
A very brief Ask the Producer, where basically he's just out swimming in the marshes with Liz, of course, and he gets a phone call from a kid. And basically he's just clearing up with the caller that, yes, flooding does take a bit longer than what was depicted in, again, this 30-minute episode. They don't quite have time to show it the way that they wish they could. But he also does clarify that, kind of like what I said earlier, while wetlands can help with filtering and cleaning water and like at least moving dirt and stuff to the bottom and letting the cleaner water flow over through the top, that water is not safe enough to drink until it has gone through water treatment facilities. So make sure that you're only getting your water after it has been treated, and do not just go out there raw dog drinking some swamp water.
Random things of water.
Because you heard from us or the Magic School Bus that the algae and stuff inside, or the plant life inside of it, cleans it out. Yes, a lawyer did write this part. So the end.
Wow. That was so fun. I like the the social science aspect of all of this, the civics side of things that you've brought into it. That's very fun and wild.
My little heart always warms up when I see like council meetings or anything like that, because it is quite literally my life. So
exactly.
Like, and I knew too, I was like, Grace will also love this because it's about basically lobbying environmental policy.
Yes, and you'll love
like,
it.
There are different angles.
Yeah,
exactly. It's city council and all of that, and just government stuff. Cool. So like, there's something for both of these hosts to love. I don't know about you guys listening, but like, me and Grace are enjoying it. So
it's really funny, like rewatching this as a adult and like hearing it and stuff of being like, oh yeah, I knew we both really loved this show, but being like, oh no, there's a lot of origin story material here for us.
I feel like there is happening, yeah,
a lot.
And I think we get a little bit of that with maybe not every show that we've done, because some of them we didn't watch growing up or didn't watch as much, but like I feel like we had that realization with the Wild Thornberries to a certain extent, or just like different shows we've watched, or for me, maybe Courage the Cowardly Dog. I'm like, this explains why I love horror and just like creepy, like gross stuff so much in movies and shows. Yeah. So that's so funny. And that's why we do this podcast, because it just brings it full circle, the nostalgia of it all, and to figure out like, how did watching this stuff growing up shape us into the very strange individuals that we are now? And so here we are. To that end, this episode right here made me a lawyer for the government and made Grace an environmental protection lobbying and genius and policy wizard. And so
great work. That was very fun. I'm excited to go watch this episode.
And yes, we again, like we said, we got 2 more bonus episodes, 2 little extra episodes of the Magic School Bus that we're going to do. So this does not end our arc, even though it has been 8 episodes. We're going to do 10, 1 more from me and Grace each. And so next week, Grace will be back with her last episode of the Magic School Bus before we get into our spooky season arc and then our Thanksgiving and holiday, Christmas, winter arcs.
Yes.
But until then, Grace, who should I tell about this podcast?
I think you got to tell your city councilmen and women and city
unless you live in Washington, D.C.
If you live
Washington,
in
D.C. council members about this.
Or like the DMV area, just in case. Spread it a little further out than just that.
I wouldn't want them.
Tell a Midwest and West... further out west city councilor.
That's south. Yeah, sure.
Outside the DMV. You're so right. I'm so sorry.
I wouldn't want any of them coming down to my office being like, so what the fuck was that you were saying about the Magic School Bus 2 weeks ago?
Hey, so what the fuck is this?
Well, I try to keep it respectful, but no. Okay, so yes.
Who else should they listen? Who should our listeners viewers tell about the show?
You should tell. You should tell an organization that does like environmental impact assessments, stuff like that. So it could be like a nonprofit group, or it could be like a legit business, like engineering company or something that does, consulting firms, etc.
And look, those reports are
figure out which side they're on.
They need something fun to listen to. They need some light in their lives. That's some dense shit. They need a little levity.
A little cartoon in the background. Make them laugh about their jobs.
Yep, perfect. Wonderful.
Cool. Until then.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Saturday Morning Mysteries.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share, rate, review, leave us a like, and drop a comment. We post episodes every Saturday and bonus tune tangents whenever we feel like it. So please subscribe so you don't miss the shenanigans.
And if you want to follow us on YouTube, click the bell under the YouTube subscribe button to receive notifications when new videos are posted.
And if you want to subscribe to the podcast, we have no idea what you're listening to us on, so just hit the big subscribe button on whatever app you're using. We believe in you.
Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at SatmornMist, all the abreves, and let us know if you have any episode or show requests by emailing SaturdayMorningMysteries@gmail.com.
Thanks to Jenna Kendall for the logo design and to Ava Sakiki for the music used during this week's episode.
See y'all groovy kids next week on Saturday Morning Mysteries.